In this informatics training video, we will show you how to record and complete a visit in an outpatient clinic. Within this video, we will cover logging in to Cerner and the PowerChart application. Set up your clinic list in the ambulatory organizer. How to access the patient's record. Record your clinical information, including new order entries. How to use the OP outcome screen to document procedures. Turn the information into a clinical document. Check the patient out of clinic, and how to DNA if required. There are a couple of ways to access the Cerner system. The first is via your desktop. Cerner Clinicals should be available on all ELHT PCs. The second is via Ollie, which can be accessed by clicking the Microsoft Edge icon or the Google Chrome icon. Select ELHT systems and search for Cerner Clinical. Your access to the system will be granted once system support have processed the request, stating you have completed this video. Once granted, your login details will be the same as your AD computer credentials. Select the production folder above to access the live system. There are many applications available within Cerner, but for this video, we will be using PowerChart, where any inpatient or outpatient activity is recorded. Once logged into the system, at the top of the screen, you will see the grey Organizer toolbar, which gives you access to different areas of the system, including external systems you may find useful in your role. The Home button, also known as the Ambulatory Organizer, is what we will be looking at in this video. We will come back to this shortly. Next to the Home button, you will find eCoach. This is where you will find useful quick reference guides and videos on how to use Cerner. For more information on this, a quick reference guide is available on eCoach. To the right of the screen, you will find some useful links, including LPRES Viewer, which gives you access to the GP record for a patient and also clinical letters from other trusts. You will also see a link to ICE Desktop, where requests such as blood tests, microbiology test, and histologies can be ordered. Again, on the right of the screen, you will see the Refresh button. As the patient's record doesn't automatically refresh, we would advise using this throughout your consultation to pull through information possibly recorded by another staff member. Click the Home button in the Organizer toolbar to return to the Ambulatory Organizer. On the left of the screen, you will see a section relating to Message Center, where you can send and receive messages from colleagues and also endorse results. More information on this is available on eCoach. On the right of the screen, this is where you will manage your clinic list and gain access to a patient's record. To pull through your clinic, ensure the date is set to today, although this can be changed to see clinics in the future and in the past. Click the No Resource Selected and start typing in the name of the lead consultant running that clinic. You may be displayed with multiple options. Select the one or multiple relevant to you. Here you will see multiple columns that can be reordered if required by clicking the column headers. The first column shows the time of the patient's appointment. The next column you will see that duration of that appointment. This is usually generated by the type of that appointment, for example, new or follow-up. Next, you will see the patient's name, age, and gender. If you hover over the patient name, you will see further information including the patient's MRN number, which is the identifier for this trust. The next column displays the type of appointment, and finally, you will see the status column. Here you will see the current status of that patient and whether they have been checked into clinic or checked out. If you are working in an outpatient area, the patient would check in either via the reception desk or by using the self-check-in machines. For this video, we will show you the check-in process, as telephone clinics may not have an admin member of staff to do this for you. To do this, click the Confirm button and select Check-in. On the check-in screen, select the Offer tab and complete the yellow mandatory field. Click OK. You will then be presented with the patient details screen. Again, complete the mandatory fields and use the tabs available if any of the patient demographics need updating. Click OK to complete the check-in process. The patient can also be tracked throughout the department by selecting the checked-in status. Click this and select with Physician. You also have access to the calendar view at the top of the screen, which allows you to view booked and unbooked slots on a weekly basis. We can now access the patient's record to start the consultation. Click the patient's name to access the record. The Accessible Information alert will appear if this hasn't previously been completed. This is now a statutory requirement and must be completed for all patients. Click the Access Info button. In the top right, you will see Override options. This allows you to skip this section in case of an emergency or if you're not currently with the patient. Click No Override. Depending on the answers provided, you may need to complete more mandatory details, including the Reasonable Adjustments tab on the left. Once this has been documented, click the green tick in the top left. This will electronically sign the form. Your patient will now appear in the blue banner. To quickly view demographic details, click on the patient's name in the blue banner. If the patient has any allergies recorded, you can view these by clicking the Allergies button. Next, you will see the patient's age, date of birth, and the resuscitation status. The NHS and MRN number and sex. Then the encounter details, which will display the location, referral date, and the lead clinician. On the left of the screen, you will find what we call the blue menu. Hover over this to view and click the pin icon, so this remains on screen. Here you will find lots of useful information regarding your patient, including past and future appointments, which shows any outpatient appointments the patient has. Results Review, which gives you a quick look at recent radiology results and nursing assessments, and also patient information, which will include the encounter details, GP details, and also next of kin. To get back to the main screen, select Doctor's View. The large section in the middle of the screen is where we will complete our consultation. Across the top of this section, you will find M pages. These are workflows designed to guide you through your consultation. Here we can see different M pages linked to the inpatient side of the system. These will need removing, and the outpatient M page adding. To do this, click the X next to each section. Now click the plus icon and select the outpatient section. Down the left-hand side, you will find Components. This includes everything you need to record an effective and accurate consultation, including any orders required. These can be reordered by dragging and dropping in the component list. For instance, you may wish to view the patient documentation when you first access the record. I will now click and drag to the top. Within the Documents component, you will find any previous consultations recorded, referral letters from external care providers, inpatient documentation, and things such as results and prescriptions. Click on a document to view. Above the documents, you will see a Modify button if it needs to be revised, a Print button if you need to print this, View Document button to allow a full screen view and view an imported document from an external system. On the right, you have the Enable Continuous Scrolling option. This allows you to use the scroller on the mouse to navigate between documents. Behind the document preview, you will find filters that will enable you to narrow down your search. This can be done by date, last 50 notes, my notes only, and by encounter, which will order the documents by the patient's visits. Within the Components menu, you will find multiple free text boxes that can be used to format your consultation, allowing the information to be grouped under different headers, such as assessments and scales, history of presenting complaint, clinical summary, and review of systems. Within the free text boxes, you also have the option to use auto text. This allows you to pre-populate the information with a touch of a button, making your consultation and documentation a lot quicker. More information on how to set up your auto text is available on eCoach. The next component is presenting complaint or issue. This must be completed on the patient's first visit. This will then carry across the encounter and display on future visits the patient has. Further down the list, you will find the problem list. Here you can document a diagnosis for this visit and also any chronic issues that may stay with the patient. On the right of the screen, select the relevant option from the Add drop-down box. Start to type the diagnosis or chronic problem in the search box and select the relevant option from the choices that appear. Any chronic problem will remain visible on the patient record, whilst any diagnosis will appear in the previous This Visits box below. Under the problem list, you will see Histories. Here you can document procedure, family and social histories, as well as pregnancies and implants. Click on the Histories hyperlink header to take you into that section. Again, you will see the available tabs across the top. Starting with procedures, these can be documented by clicking the Add button. Start by typing the name of the procedure, click the binoculars, and select the relevant option. There are more fields available such as location, date, and at what age the patient had this procedure completed. Ensure after each section, the OK button is selected to save what's been recorded. To document family, social, pregnancy or implants, repeat this process. Click the house icon to return to the patient's record. For the histories to display, click the refresh button in the top right. Next, we have clinical images. Images can be added to the patient's record, such as body maps. These can be edited as required. More information for clinical images is available on eCoach. Further down the Components menu, you will find Allergies and Adverse Reaction. Again, this gives you the chance to see any allergies recorded on the patient's record. To add further allergies, click the Allergies and Adverse Reactions hyperlink header. Here you will see the No Known Allergies box, which can be used to record no allergies. To record further allergies, click the Add button. The substance box will only search for medication allergies. Here you would start typing in the name of the allergy, for example penicillin. Click the binoculars and select from the list. Complete the other yellow mandatory fields before clicking OK. To record another allergy, select the OK and Add New button. To search for anything other than a medication, click the Non-Medication Allergies folder. Choose the relevant folder and select from the list by double-clicking. Again, complete the mandatory fields before clicking OK. If the allergies recorded need to be modified, this can be done by right-clicking and choosing Modify. Click the house icon to return to the patient's record. As we did with histories, click the refresh button to pull the information through. Next, I will show you how to request prescriptions, follow-ups, and procedures. Click the New Order Entry component. For the prescription, ensure the Outpatient Prescription button is selected. Start by typing in the name of the medication and select the order sentence from the list. Next, in the search box, Start by typing in the specialty for the follow-up appointment and select the relevant order from the list. Finally, start typing the name of the procedure that needs requesting and click this. In the top right of the screen, you will see the Orders for Signature box. You will see how many requests have been ordered in the green box. Click this and select Modify. Any orders placed will appear at the top of the screen. This allows you to review the order and make any changes. The blue circle indicates that mandatory fields will need completing before moving on. To complete an order, click on this, and at the bottom of the screen, ensure any mandatory fields have been filled in. Repeat this for any of the other orders. Once all the orders have been documented and the blue circle has disappeared, click Sign in the bottom right. More information on the prescription will need completing. Click Yes. Select from the list where the medication needs to be dispensed and add the department's telephone number. The box below can be used to document any home medications that need to be stopped this visit. Add any other information before clicking the green sign button in the top left. If a prescription needs to be printed, for instance, controlled drugs, click the Depart button in the grey toolbar, click on the prescription, and press Print. I will now show you how to complete the OPM page, which includes any procedures done in clinic and also the checkout process. At the bottom on the Components menu, and also the blue menu on the left, you will find OP Outcomes. Click this for it to appear on screen. In the top right of this screen, you will see the specialty. This should pull through from the encounter and appointment we have selected. If this is incorrect, click the drop-down and select the relevant specialty from the list. This ensures the procedures we can see on screen are correct. The first thing to complete is the Consult section. Here you can specify who was present in clinic, for example, clinician only or clinician and specialist nurse. Tick the box next to the relevant option. Next, you will need to select any procedures that have taken place in clinic. This also includes any investigations the patient has been sent for. Tick the box next to the relevant option. If the procedure was completed on an area of the body, select the left, right, or bilateral option. The date and time of the procedure will appear at the top of the screen, and this can be amended if needed by using the arrows or the icons next to the date and time box. To save the procedures recorded, click the arrow next to Save. To add further comments in regards to the procedure, select Save with Comments. Use the flags below to deselect a procedure if required and type in your comments. Again, click Save. Before completing the checkout process, we will go back to the patient's record and create our document. Using the blue menu, select the plus icon next to Documentation. The document types can be customized to make your search easier. More information is available on eCoach. There are two types available. Name of the specialty followed by the word Consult, or followed by GP letters. The consult note will pull all the information recorded and store this in the patient's record. The GP option will electronically send the letter to the GP. Please seek guidance on your internal processes before moving forward. For this video, I will be choosing the Dermatology Consult option. On the right-hand side, you will see Templates. Based on the template used, this will pull different information across from the patient's record. For any outpatient consultations, you have two options. If you selected the GP letter option, here you would choose Outpatient Letter, which formats the documents to be sent outside of the trust. For the Consult option which we are using, you would select Outpatient Note. These can be selected as favorites by clicking the star icon. This will then be accessible via the Favorites tab above. Double-click the note to create it. If you need to make any changes to the sections, you can click in the space below the header and continue typing. Any sections without information won't appear on the letter. If you wish to manually remove a section from the letter, hover over the header and click the X icon. Once the letter has been reviewed, click the Sign/Submit button. Again, click Sign to complete the letter. This is now visible in the patient's documentation. We can now return to the outpatient outcome screen to complete the checkout process. At the top of the screen, click Checkout. Select the applicable RTT status for this consultation. Next, select what has been done, for example, another appointment given. If the patient has been sent for investigations, this would usually be appointment to be made at a later date. If you are discharging the patient from your care, before selecting discharge, ensure the patient doesn't have any appointment linked to this encounter that they will need to keep. For this video, I will select Another Appointment Given. Finally, click the Save button again in the top left. The patient has now been checked out. To see this, click the Home button in the grey Organizer toolbar to return to your clinic list. You may need to click the Refresh button for the update to pull across. If procedures need to be updated since the patient has been checked out, click the patient to head back into the record. Using the blue menu, select the Diagnosis Procedures page. At the bottom, you will see any procedures recorded this visit. Right-click on a procedure and select the Modify option. Make any changes such as adding further comments and click OK. If at this point you have modified and added further investigations, you may need to update the document created earlier. To do this, in the blue menu, select Documentation and double-click on the outpatient note. Select Revise and click OK. In the Procedures section, click the little Refresh button. This will pull through any changes made. Click Sign to save the document. To return to the clinic list, click the Home button in the grey Organizer toolbar. If a patient DNAs an appointment, it is the clinician's responsibility to make a clinical decision on what happens next and also record this on the system. To record the DNA, click on the status. This should show as Confirmed. Select Did not attend. In the general comments box, this can be used to add information such as appointment again in 3 weeks. Although this wouldn't be picked up and actioned, you would need to follow your departmental policies to request another appointment. At the top of the screen, select the Offer tab and complete the yellow mandatory fields. Based on what's been specified, the outcome of attendance would be appointment to be made at a later date or discharged from consultant's care. If a discharge decision is to be made, the clinician must record discharge at the checkout stage. If this isn't done, the patient will fall onto a work list, and the booking clerks will assume a clinical decision has been made to arrange another follow-up. We can now see in the status column, this has been updated to Did not attend. Thank you for watching this e-learning video. Further Cerner EPR videos are available on our YouTube channel, ELHT Cerner Millennium EPR e-learning videos.